Hi, I'm Gail from GG Evergreen Bonsai. If you would like to grow an aqua bonsai, which basically means a bonsai that grows in water and nutrients, you will need this equipment. You would need a bowl, mesh. I've actually got a hydroponics centre. You don't have to, you can make it nice and cheap. You will need a tree. I've got an Acer there, which I've just bought from a local cheap sort of supermarket. You need some nutrients, so I've got some hydroponics nutrients. I've also got some bonsai nutrients. I've got an air pump just for a fish tank, so really cheap. And then if you're keeping it in a greenhouse, a cold greenhouse during the winter, I used electric heat pad, which warmed up the water so it didn't freeze. Generally I didn't have it on, it was only when it was really cold mornings. And then you will need a grow light as well. I had mine on a timer for 12 hours a day, so it wasn't on 24/7. I've not been filming for quite a while because I've been very busy. I've created my own business. I've been selling bonsais up at my local garden centre, so I've got a nice little area up there in Middlesbrough. So I'm diversifying with centerpieces, bonsai centerpieces for people at weddings, and also succulents and terrariums, so they can have an array of different sustainable products and plants and trees for their wedding to make them more unique. So that's what I've been doing. So I've been busy doing that, so I apologise for the lack of videos, but I couldn't do both at the same time. This is a video that I promised a while ago, and it was to create aqua bonsai. So what is aqua bonsai? So it is a bonsai that lives purely in water and has no soil at all, and it's the same as hydroponics. So a few years ago I purchased a hydroponic centre, and I've got bigger ones in my greenhouse to grow tomatoes and chilies and a few other things, and had more success than others. My tomato plants were really successful. So when I got into bonsais, I looked at a video on Bonsai Empire that showed you how to create aqua bonsais. And how does that fit in with my business? Because I'm creating sustainable centerpieces, so instead of having vases that have flowers in, my intention is to have vases with bonsai in them. So again, different, but it's a living plant, which, well, obviously you won't throw it away at the end, well, not unless it's dead, but we'll see. So I'm going to go through the process to see if anybody else wants to have a go. And as I said before, this is an experiment. Things work out, things were more successful than others, and I'll talk through those in a minute. So I'm going to bring you up closer so you can have a look what I've actually been doing. Now, I've been doing this experiment for quite a few months. I've had these growing in this water, well, various different waters, because obviously I've been replenishing the water for quite a few months. Trying to think whereabouts I bare rooted them. So I'm going to show you how to bare root them and what I did, but it's really simple. So bare rooting, basically you're removing all of the soil, so I want to get rid of all the soil, and then put them into water basically. So I wanted to see if these trees would grow in water the same as my tomato and my chili plants, seeing which ones survived, and all the ones that did survive are deciduous. I did have some evergreens, there wasn't many, I just had some really small black pine saplings. The black pines went all through the winter, and then the spring came and then they just died. And I'll be honest, I think it's because I sort of neglected them a little bit. They were sinking in the water, they had algae on them, so obviously that hygiene element was important for those. However, for the deciduous, they have been the easiest bonsais to look after. I look at them once a month. I change the water and the nutrients once a month. And as you can see, I haven't actually pruned these, so I'm going to prune these today. See if I can get a little bit of wire and movement on some of these. And then I'm going to see if I can put them into a vase. We'll see. So that's basically the plan. What equipment would you need? So I've got a hydroponics centre, and you don't need that at all. You just have a bowl and have some mesh on the top, so that it can be as basic as anything. It's just the meshes so that it holds the plant. You need an air pump. So this one is from a fish tank, a very cheap one. I think it's about £5. And basically what it does, it pumps around oxygen and pumps the solution in the water and the nutrients evenly around the roots. So that's pretty cheap. And how does the nutrients get into water? So once a month I put in equal parts of a bonsai nutrient liquid feed, and then a hydroponics liquid feed as well. So as I say, it was an experiment. I wasn't sure how to do it particularly. Bonsai Empire have a video, but they don't show you all the details. So it was a case of seeing what worked. So what I'm looking for here is white roots. They're new roots. See that it is actually growing and it is healthy. It's quite a lot of roots, nice and flat. It has been a very, very hot few weeks, and I have not cleaned this out for quite a few weeks. Now, a bonsai, we can remove a third of the roots. So I'm going to have a look to see what I can remove, because it's got some quite dark roots there, and we've got some of the white ones. So obviously I don't want to remove the new ones. So I'm going to see if it's still okay to remove up to a third of the root mass there. And then as I haven't cleaned this out for a while, this normally gets really, really dirty and full of algae. And as you can see, it's got algae in the tray as well. So you need to clean that out regularly. What happens is the algae will creep up the trunk and also covers the roots as well, which is going to reduce the amount of nutrients it can get. So you've got to be... So feed wise, over the winter I've fed them once every 2 months, and then over the summer I've done them once a month. And again, like I say, these have been very, very neglected, which is a shame, but they have managed to survive. This one, maybe not so much. This one, really, really healthy. So what I'm going to do today is I'm going to prune them. Hopefully, if I prune them, it might back bud. That's what I'm hoping, but we'll see. And again, like I said, this is an experiment. So I'm going to clean this bowl out, get rid of all this algae, and then I'm going to move on to working with the trees. Now, apologies if you can hear some grunting, but that is one of my dogs. Okay, so we've got one of the beech here, so it would be ideal if this was starting to back bud along here, because it's going to go into a vase. I want this actually shorter. Probably left it a bit too late now to be pruning it, but I'm going to have a go. Like I said, the roots are a little bit unsightly there. I'm just going to snip off some of the roots on here. I'm not going to go mental. No, there's one that's got a lot more root mass. But that's basically my bonsai there. Like I say, for something that has been purely in water for months, it's looking pretty healthy. So some of you will be wondering, why have I grown it in water? It is a lot healthier to grow a plant in water simply because it doesn't have bugs, doesn't get bugs, which is an advantage. But obviously you've got to make sure that it doesn't have too little nutrients. You need to constantly monitor that, I suppose. When I'm pruning this one, the thing with the aces, if you cut it really near there, what does it die back, so it will kill that. So I'm actually going to just cut it shy of the branch. Again, I can always trim it later on, but it'll have a little bit of dye back there. So I've made that one quite short. Now I picked this plant because it had wires digging into it there, which actually has grown out quite well, so I was surprised because that was really quite ugly at one point. Now looking at some of the roots here, looks like it's got a little bit of mildew on that one and that one, I noticed. All I can hear is my dog snoring. Very loud. So looking at this, we've got 4 examples of the ones that have survived. This one, not so healthy. This one is not so healthy. This one's got a massive root mass and lots of foliage. This one did have a lot of foliage, but I have cut it down. And this one, which is the beech, again fairly healthy, but not as much of the white roots the new one's grown. So the healthiest one there is this silver birch. So how much feed would I use? So on this one, we've got, this is the Bonsai Focus, and again you've got lots of different makes. So on this one you would need to put in 5 ml for a litre. Now I'm going to go 50-50, so this I'm going to do 2.5 mils. And again we've got lots of hydroponics. We have lots of hydroponic nutrients as well, but this one is quite an easy one because this is the same 5 ml in a litre. So again, I'm going to do 2.5 for this litre of water. I'm going to pour some in the vase. I've already done it once, but I had it all over the table. Now Bonsai Empire suggests that you change the water once a week. So that's what I'm going to do. So this one I'm going to bring inside and I'm going to change the water once a week. I'm just going to use some 2 ml. Now normally you would stick the end of that wire into the soil. It's already quite bendy anyway because I did bend it, as you can see, with the wire marks on it. So move it around the trunk at 45 degrees. I'm not going to put it up one of those because I don't want to knock off any of the little delicate branches there. I'm going to give it a bit of a bend. And I'm going to put it into the vase. Let's move it over into shot. And then I'm going to top this up. So let's see how this one gets on. So if I'm looking at a critique, the water is quite dark, so we'd have to find an alternative for the solution, one that's not brown. Also, I should have bent this months ago because I was too eager to do the experiment, and I got distracted with other things. Obviously they haven't been bent with the wire, so I should have done that months ago. Okay, so hopefully if I do that with the new ones that I'm going to do, then I won't have to wire these up, and then these are actually quite unsightly. And then I think I need something on the top. Now I know that Bonsai Empire have like a lid, and they even put things like moss on the top, which is quite interesting. So I think I need to investigate what I can buy for that. So for this one, which has got a very long trunk and a big root ball, I'm just going to cut off some of the root ball, because again that will be quite unsightly in a vase. So it's quite a big mass. Hopefully it will invigorate the plant and encourage it to grow a few more roots in there. I'm going to see if I can bend it first. This is a little bit more bendy than the Acer, but we'll see. I feel it was starting to possibly crack, so I'm going to see if I can give it a bit of movement in there. So this is a little silver birch. I'm going to see if I can twist this. So no. Quite a bizarre shape there. Poor little silver birch. And then for this beech, just give it a bit of a... What I'm trying to do is make the trunk look shorter. And what I might do is actually just put a bit of wire in here to join those two, to make that nice and tight. So how to make a bonsai grow in water. This is called Aqua bonsais, and they're grown in the same way as hydroponics grow vegetables. Where to position them: put them in an area where they're going to have plenty of sun, but not in direct sunlight, because you'll turn the water green. I'm going to bare root this, remove all of the soil. It's not the right time of year, but like we say, it's an experiment. See if it copes with the different changes in the weather, if it's the same. So I'm removing all the soil. And then I'm rinsing it, making sure all of the soil is removed. Like I say, we want to make sure there's no sort of diseases or bugs or insects or anything like that, so there needs to be total soil removed. So I'm going to rinse that a couple of times. Main goes nutrients. As I say, then we put the lights on, so that's on a timer for 12 hours. And finish off the fill it up with new ones and see how these go on this season. I just want to pass on a message to Tony from Tony's Bonsai. You will be missed, but you certainly won't be forgotten. You've left a legacy for all people who create bonsais as they want to try something different. So I hope that over the coming months that you are well as can be expected, and as pain-free as you can possibly be, and that you continue to spread the love and the laughter to your family. This aqua bonsai I'm going to name after you, so this is going to be Tony. So Tony's aqua bonsai. It's a one-off, which you are, mate. So that's why I'm calling it Tony. And I'm going to look after Chewbacca as well. He's doing well. So take care and love you.